Question number 2 from GIPS. The section of GIPS that outlines defining the firm and documenting the firm policies and the procedure is. So we know that there are 8 sections on the GIPS, that different sections say there are 8 sections which talks about different prospects. So the standard which talks about defining the firm and documenting the firm policies and procedures is the section 1, that is fundamentals of compliance, which gives or which talks about like following the policies and the guidelines given by the GIPS. Also it talks about defining a firm. So defining a firm as in, if you have firm's location is in other some geographic location, then in that case you will mention that in the definition of the firm. Or if you are including fee paying client, non-fee paying, discretionary, non-fee paying clients, or non-discretionary client, everything you have to include in the definition of the firm. So section 1 talks about defining a firm or following firm policies and the firm, not firm policies, following the GIPS policies, what are the procedures or the rules, regulation, guidelines given by the GIPS? That is first section, which is fundamentals of the compliance. So in the question we have been asked regarding documenting the firm policing and the procedures is nothing but fundamentals of the compliance. So those 8 sections are, first sections would be the fundamentals of the compliance. Second is about like the calculation methodologies. No, sorry. Third is about the composite and the pooled fund maintenance. So this is the third section which talks about the calculation methodology for the composite is different and the calculation methodology for the pooled fund is different. So that is the third section. And GIPS advertising guidelines is the 8th section, which talks about if there is a like joint venture, one of the firm is GIPS compliant, the other firm is not GIPS compliant. In that case, the firm which is not GIPS compliant should specifically mention that only one of the firm is GIPS compliant and the other is non-GIPS compliant. That is in case of the joint venture. So it talks about advertising guidelines in case of the like joint venture hoga. So this is the 8th section. This is the composite and pooled fund maintenance is the third section. This is 8, and the first section is about the fundamentals of the compliance, which outlines what is mean by firm and documenting the firm policies and the procedures. Right? So there are 8 sections. उसमें से 4 sections है, वो तो आपको 4 to 7, वो you don't need to like know the details of those sections. That's only the names, right? So the answer for this question is C. And second section was about the input data. So input data, garbage in, garbage out. So input data should be consistent. Those are the 8 sections of the GIPS. So let's recollect all those sections once again. So first is about the fundamentals of the compliance, which talks about the guidelines and defining a firm. Second is about the input data, which says input data should be consistent. Third is about the composite and the pooled fund. So it says the calculation method, it talks about the calculation methodologies. 4, 5, 6, 7, you just remember the names. That's about the composite money weighted return and the composite time weighted return. 4 and 5, and 6 and 7 is about the pooled fund money weighted return and pooled fund time weighted return, and 8 is about the GIPS advertising guidelines. So it says like one of the firm is GIPS compliant, the other is not, then specify it. So those are the 8 sections of the GIPS.